Now, if you're heading to the Pacific island of Palau, you'll be signing up to a new pledge.
Human impact on Earth's environment is one of the biggest challenges facing the world today. The small island nation of Palau was feeling these impacts acutely. Tourists were damaging reefs, littering oceans and poaching protected species. But how could a small local population with limited resources police the high volume of visitors? What if we made the tourists police themselves? Introducing the Palau Pledge, a first-of-its-kind immigration policy for good. All visitors now need to sign an environmental pledge to gain admittance into Palau. Stamped into the passport of international arrivals, the pledge is a formal promise to Palau's children.
Children of Palau,
I take this pledge
to preserve and protect your beautiful and unique island home.
To implement this policy, government, the tourist industry and citizens were brought together. A new visa entry stamp was designed and issued in multiple languages. And immigration laws were permanently changed.
The joy that comes with a pledge is the recognition that, hey, I can make a difference.
But we didn't stop at the passport stamp. We redesigned the tourism experience via a website, an in-flight film, a passport insert, local education, business accreditation, signage, penalties and collateral. Launched at the UN, the Palau Pledge has been praised by international leaders and groups. Influencers helped inspire people to take the pledge online in solidarity with Palau.
Are you already seeing tourists behaving differently?
The awareness level is very high.
Leonardo DiCaprio has been quick to endorse the pledge.
The reaction on social media has been widespread.
The Palau Pledge has raised global awareness of the responsibility this generation has to the next. But its biggest impact is local, in Palau.
I hope my children can see the beautiful place as I see today.
Not a jellyfish. What's on the label? It's Martinez. Share it with them now, cause I don't think they've seen it. Share a cup with tomorrow, like today and not tomorrow. M-U-G-H-A-N, don't forget that H. Megan with an H.
She wants her 15 minutes of fame.
Gonna drop a little rhythm all about the Seacrest. Up on every talk show, buzzing like a bee's nest. He is the finisher, a shaker and a mover. I'll share a cup with Ryan if he invites me over.
So share a coke with Crystal. She was a little bummed out, now she has a song.
Geniuses at Coca-Cola have found a way to get more free publicity than anybody on the planet.
I thought I saw a man brought to life. He was warm, he came around like he was dignified. He showed me what it was to cry. Well, you couldn't be that man I adored. You don't don't seem to know, don't seem to care what your heart is for. No, I don't know him anymore. I'm all out of faith. This is how I feel. I'm cold and I am chained, lying naked on the floor. Illusion never changed into something real, and I can see the perfect sky is torn.
Selfie. Selfie.
Nice. Kelly, look at the camera.
Drop low, get down. Come on up, let me see you shake it. Shake it.
The Selfie Stick app uses unique dog facial recognition technology that's never successfully been done before.
Facial recognition with humans is pretty straightforward. When it comes to dogs, it's a lot more complicated. There's lots of different breeds, their noses are in different places. The technology behind it is incredibly complex.
Using the Stanford dog dataset, we trained a machine learning network by feeding it thousands of images of dog faces. Then when the dog looks at the camera, the app puts a filter over its face.
For the deafblind around the world, protactile sign language is the only medium for interpersonal communication. The problem is, it requires physical contact with someone who can interpret. But what they badly need is a two-way communication tool that frees them from these invisible shackles. Introducing Good Vibes, words through vibrations. Smartphones are all around us, and they vibrate. Vibrations provide the much-needed tactile feedback to the deafblind, as they can feel what they can't see or hear. So we infused the smartphone with a 180-year-old language, Morse. Made up of just dots and dashes, Morse is a binary language that can be perfectly translated into two distinct tactile inputs, short tap and long press, and two distinct tactile outputs, short and long vibrations. Combinations of these inputs make words, which when transmitted as vibrations can be felt and decoded by the deafblind. For the first time in human history, the deafblind have a two-way communication tool.
The app is working on the cheapest phones, a 4,000 rupee phone.
Vibration, I feel it is very good. This particular technology will also add to their privacy.
The way people accepted it and using it
It's awesome, incredible.
The Good Vibes Project is sending a message of hope to our deafblind friends, and they're messaging back.
In the past years, sightings of different sea creatures washing ashore in the Philippines were being ignored. The last one was a sperm whale with its stomach full of plastics, yet it was still ignored. Until one fateful day. A 73-foot decomposing blue whale was found on the shores of one of the most polluted cities in the country. It changed how people looked at the issue. The closer people looked, they realized that it was entirely made of plastics.
We are going live here dahil may napaka-interesting
На Филиппинах с пластиковых відходів
установили на филиппинском plastic бывает escultura de una ballena muerta. Môi trường ở Philippines. Ang problema ng plastic.
The dead whale was Greenpeace Philippines' message to the 2017 ASEAN leaders to take concrete measures against the worsening case of plastic pollution.
Ang Philippines globally ranks number 3 sa pinakamaraming basura na tinatapon pumupunta sa ating karagatan.
The story was picked up by local and international media outfits. And in less than 24 hours, it shocked the entire world, reaching the shores of over 100 countries.
Plastique, vous le voyez, vous y croyez peut-être? Non, vous n'y croyez pas. En tout cas, des millions d'internautes y ont cru. Elisabeth, ils ont cru que c'était une vraie.
It even inspired other whale impressions. Most importantly, the issue was included in a proposal for the next ASEAN Leaders Summit, just one day after the launch.
This is not a wake-up call anymore. It is an urgent call to action.
The dead whale may be fake, but the message is real.
Por oportunismo político, porque usted es un oportunista, Toño, lo ha sido toda la vida y lo seguirá siendo.
Costa Rica has never been through such controversial presidential elections. And while everyone was fighting and dividing the country, the king decided it was time to unite. At the worst moment of the political campaign, the king invited all the presidential candidates together to share a Whopper and make peace with one another. If they came to celebrate democracy and peace and encourage people to vote, Burger King would give away Whoppers to the voters on Election Day. And they came. A burger making history in Costa Rica. Not even televised presidential debates had such a complete roster of candidates. A peaceful, democratic meal to set an example for citizens. Burger King took over the media.
11 aspirantes a la presidencia hicieron una pausa en sus apretadas agendas. Todos compartieron una mesa y no precisamente para debatir.
Debemos destacar lo que nos une, no lo que nos separa, y encontrar el equilibrio que tanto necesitan los costarricenses.
Para alcanzar grandes acuerdos para este país que tanto necesita ver a los políticos unidos en lugar de verlos peleándose, en lugar de verlos atacándose en campañas sucias.
Creo que es una oportunidad de demostrarle al país que lo que más vale es nuestra democracia.
Vote primero y luego venga a disfrutar gratis de un Whopper.
Le dice la gente de BK que aquellas personas que voten tendrán el derecho de reclamar un Whopper.
In the end, the Whopper became part of the celebration of Costa Rican democracy, and another reason to get out and vote.
The world misuses cosmetic surgery. China is not an exception. This pursuit of artificial perfection lies on unresolved confidence issues.
微整容呢，在当下是一个很普遍的现象，人们并不知道如何形成对自己自我自身价值的一个判断， 它需要依靠大众的看法，这样一来就很难坚持自己的自身独特性。
In a world that constantly expects us to look perfect, all we need is someone to remind us to cut out all the noise and start embracing ourselves. Introducing the Anti-Perfect collection by Diesel, a stunt that began with a woman who removed her cosmetic implants to make jewelry. Each piece was to remind everyone to keep fake parts out and embrace who we are. First, we told her story through an unbranded online video to spread the word.
整个的表情和自然流露的是不一样，还是以前这样最美、最真实、很自然啊。所以我想，还是把它拆掉是对的。
Her video led to her online bazaar, where the collection was sold out within a week. The jewelry provoked heated debate about beauty, sparking endless conversation as perceptions started changing. When people received their jewelry, they realized it was all part of Diesel's global campaign, Go with the Floor, a celebration of individuality and all that is imperfect.
Every year, bushfires endanger 1 in 10 Australian lives.
Official state of emergency has been declared. More than 100 people are dead and entire communities wiped out.
Bushfires are a destructive force, and after they strike, people rely on their insurance company to help them rebuild their lives.
Got nothing, it's all gone.
NRMA Insurance, Australia's largest insurer, wanted to do more to protect communities during bushfires.
It's definitely coming.
Currently, sight is the most common method of detection, but you can smell smoke before you see fire. Introducing NRMA Fire Blanket.
A device dubbed the Bushfire Blanket has been unveiled, aimed at detecting blazes before they take hold.
An always-on early bushfire detection and monitoring network made up of nodes that analyse the air for bushfire smoke while monitoring weather data. Placed on existing infrastructure, they form a mesh network, spreading a protective blanket over communities. When smoke is detected, the nodes pinpoint the source and send out an alert, while software tracks and predicts where the bushfire could spread. Developed over the past 2 years in collaboration with the CSIRO, the government's leading scientific body.
Being able to know more information about where a bushfire is and how fast it's moving is critical to the planning process of fighting that fire.
Fire Blanket has now completed a trial with the Rural Bushfire Service, successfully demonstrating it can detect bushfires faster than current methods.
Getting that early notification is vital. Any new technology that can assist us with that, obviously we welcome.
Providing communities a new method of bushfire detection, one that is faster, smarter and always on. NRMA Fire Blanket, pioneering new technology in bushfire detection.
In 2012, 3 young girls were traveling in their school bus in northern Pakistan when a Taliban gunman boarded the bus and shot them.
The gunman had fired 3 bullets, hitting Malala in the head and also wounding Shazia and Kainat.
Their crime was their desire to go to school. All 3 girls fought back their serious injuries and emerged as determined spokespersons for the right of girls to be educated.
What do you want the world to know?
I want to tell all the girls to continue their mission to get an education.
An extremely courageous act at a time when the Taliban were shutting down girls' schools.
More than 200 schools for girls have been blown up by the Taliban.
To tell their story and to inspire more girls to go to school, SOC Outreach and 2-time Academy Award winner Sharmeen Abed Chinoy collaborated with renowned Pakistani writer Sana Maher and designed a symbol with the ultimate message of resistance. A book that speaks of knowledge being more powerful than any bullet that might try to stop it. Introducing the world's first bulletproof book. Knowledge is bulletproof. This is a novel that tells the girl's stories on paper, but is bound with a cover made of ballistic-resistant Kevlar XP fiber. The book was put together meticulously and was tested for its efficacy. Even the color of the ink in the book is the color of the uniform that schoolgirls wear. Sales proceeds of the limited edition book will go towards funding schools for orphans of Taliban victims.
The Taliban, they thought that the bullet would silence us, but they failed.